your boy Young I give him that thing. Pancho legs stand and Panchi America. Panchi dual the Banaban. Pancho legs stand and Panchi America. Panchi dual the Banaban. Walk on the lake and carry water no watching. Oga level leg gear power leg. Panda with ya Panchi America. Panya dual Vano. Chingatonga Pandon could you ever buy a check? Papu Panda Juru what ya be. Panchi America, Panchi Dual, Panapan Pancha
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are tuning in tonight, today, this time to Lagos State Media. Welcome my co-host Abraham Madin Majak and our guest speaker Landit Bad. Welcome all of you today, Abraham.
Thank you, Brother Isaac Tilfall. Greeting to you and greeting my guests, our guest Landit. Welcome to Lagos State Media, and also we're greeting all our viewers. Thank you for coming in. Please start sharing the video, and thank you for joining us this evening. Brother Landit.
Thank you very much, Lake State Media, members of all state media, for opening up a very important broadcasting. And I'm going to be brief, and I'm going to be brief on what is going on and what we want to talk about, which are the two things. Comparatively, the September 11 that happened in the United States in 2001, when I was still in Africa. I wasn't here. But we are going to compare the importance of liberty and the importance of nationalism. Because Americans, as we have been here, we learn a lot from what we see, what we do, and we learn also from the experience on how we interact with American in the United States. First of all, I want to introduce myself to all the audience. My name is called Landit, but my real name is called Juma Abbas, as it will be known by other people who know it. But I call myself Landit because I love Landit. Chola Konkene is part of history in my family, and I have a lot of things that I'm looking behind Landit. So it sounds better, but I think Landit, the only big animal is elephant. So when I say Landit, you know that don't calculate it somewhere else. Know that there is an elephant that is really the biggest elephant that can uproot the tree and throw it down. So I was born in Juba, and when I was born in Juba, I grew up seeing stuff until 1985, when I came back home and learned the life of our people who are living normally at home, until 1986, until 1987, when I was the first one given a chance by my family, by my father, because a lot of lies are there, but there was a chances that were given. I was 11 years old. I joined the Red Army. Grew up without my parents, and I have learned a lot from SPLMs. I grew up as a member. All the atrocities that we have seen, they are a lot. So I moved all the way from Ethiopia, and there is no any place that we never passed through in South Sudan. I've involved myself in so many great activities. When I was in Penyudu, I was, Red Army Panan, and you can pay, and I always like entertain that give me hope and give me happy, and I also create the songs. Also, when I came to Kakuma, I involved myself in youth and culture program, which I work a lot with youth in order for us to maintain peace among ourselves. Example of 1996 when we have clashes between the Nuer community and the Dinka. So we managed to do youth and culture program to connect us. We have some members leadership. I still remember them, like Kim Jal is one of my colleague from Nuer community, and we worked very hard until the road was open. Everybody was moving free. Second to that, when I came to US, I continued with the same dream. I didn't want to come to United States anyway because I was hoping. Uh, the process of Lost Boys, I was the first one get it, and I know the process when it was begin. Who came and do the process? I know. I will not tell you in this story. But as I love the country called South Sudan and nationality of our country, I refused to come. And I told my brother to take my name, but it didn't work. I remained, continue until the peace agreement was done. I followed up with peace agreements. I was going to Machakos. We went to school together with my brother Bolmakur in Mogomo until I moved again to Machakos. When the peace talk started, I used to go to Garden Hotel and meet with a lot of officials of the SPLM. My dream is still continue loving what is called nationalism, and I want to also let people know the liberty. That is what we are fighting, the freedom. And freedom is not free, but after we get it now, that is where I came to the media today. I come to the media today to discuss a few things that I love about the liberty of the country. Comparatively, Americans, they love their liberty and they love what is called nationalism. They love it because American, they die for others. The love that they have is always very important. When I watch at the history of September 11, it was so something that's so heartbreaking. But Americans, they were very strong to defend and protect those who were blown into twin towers, two planes. One was from Boston's, and the other two that were there were four planes actually. One uh, was
And
targeting Pentagon, the other one White House. But those who were going to the White House, they know that what is
Landy,
going.
before
Yeah.
before we talk, let us play that
minute of
song
silence.
silent
Okay.
before we talk about the 9/11. Yeah.
Okay, so right now we can take a little silent to remember the people who have perished on the day like this today, and then we will go ahead to explain that. I want to give you a strong message about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can go ahead from here.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
As we are taking the move, we took the movement of how we see what happened. Um, I would like to let you know it is the power of American knowing themselves that wherever they are, whether somebody doesn't have a gun in the hand, they always protect their liberty. They protect their freedom, no matter whoever the leader is coming in. And I'm proud of those who fought in the plane until the plane crashed in Pennsylvania. It did not reach the White House, which is what is the most important thing that people need to understand, that that is what is called having your being a national respecting your nationalism, and that is why they die. Instead, the plane would have reached up to White House and crashed over there. That would have been a big sorrow. Who knows who was in the White House? But unfortunately, when that September 11 happened, President Bush was somewhere with in the school visiting one of the school, and he got the news when he was not in the White House. But we have to understand, White House is part of the American liberty. They don't care who is in that place, whether it is a bad president or a good president, it still get protected and is still given the power. American still stand behind him because through the democracy, uh, it keep the country safe. It keep the country to remain uh, safe for everyone, for innocent people, for rich people, for whoever in that country. And that is why we're proud of how, what American they are doing. When you join American military, you always have a big respect from the citizen because they always know you are on the front line of their life. And September 11 today, when we look at it, the way it happened in New York, some of the people they went inside and died rescuing others. And it is a duty of everyone who is alive to help another one. The country is always become a country when people help each other, no matter who the person is, so long you know is one of your person you die of nationalism. A nationalism of the Americans has shown up in September 11 because I do believe if those who were in the plane crash in Twin Towers, if they had an opportunity to get out and fight in that plane, they would have protect Twin Towers, and they don't have guns in their hand. The same thing, what happened until crash at the corner of Pentagon. It was not crashed in the corner of Pentagon for nothing. There were some people who were fighting in there. Otherwise, it would have crashed in the delicate part of the nation. So when we see ourselves about September 11, all the viewers, South Sudanese, who are living in the US, who are living in Canada, who are living in Africa, in East Africa, you're living in South Sudan, I want to let you take the message of nationalism today. Whether you are a leader in South Sudan, whether you are not a leader in South Sudan, you are born as a South Sudanese. What you need to put in your mind, our struggle shifted, but our struggle has successfully shown we are free, and our liberty, we are free. But we are not free because we don't know, we don't understand the word nationalism. We don't know the word nationalism because if we know the word nationalism, we should be proud of our martyrs, we should be proud of our leaders, we should be proud of our citizens, we should be helping one another in every corner of the country. Now we have reached up to 10 years. We had been having 21 years. We've been having 17 years. Calculation of all our struggle, 66 years of South Sudan is struggling to get independent. So as I'm living in America, I feel the pain of each and every citizen of South Sudan every day. I feel the pain because I was in that pain. I stay in the rain. I stay without food. I stay without clothes. I walk without, I walk barefooted, and I travel everywhere. I carry bullet on me. I carry gun on me. I hear the sound of gun every day. But in my heart, I feel the word of nationalism. When the Red Army, every time we were in Ethiopia, they told us that they need to take some of us to go to Kenya. They divided into two. Some were going to Bango to be trained and join the military. Some of us, they were told they are coming to Kenya. My interest was I need to go, and I will put myself on something so I will be looked tall. Because at that time, SPLM they don't care. So long you reach to that level of height and you are skinny, you are a grown-up man. But it was my heart that I need to go. I want to tell you a little story of nationalism that is dying in my heart. When I came from Juba, 1985, I went to Boer Town. And I'm a young man that always like to, I don't depend on anybody. I always like to do my own things. And though I was young, I will spend my time at the Nile. And I will go and fish in the evening. I'll bring fish home. One day, which I story I told to a lake media before, I came at the corner. The people who live in Bor before, there is a place called Andaya Nyalony. It was at the corner. It was Andaya of Nyalony. It's called, if it is English, it is just like a bar where, daily people have the bar, but in the evening they close. They don't stay late like that time. So when I came, I found a policeman. He held the young man. So like what I see in Afghanistan, that person is being hit with a gun, is being punched with a gun. I came with my friend called Dengong, and I told Dengong, look at what is going on here. Is this his sound right? The guy don't want to run away because, guns is for everybody, is scared of it. So I decided to say, hey, I have to do something. I got myself a very nice stone. I came closer, and I believe my stone hit the policeman very hard, and I ran. I ran, I threw my fish away, and I ran with my fishing hook. When I ran with my fishing hook fall down and hook my feet, and I ran with it. By then, the regional hospital was very good. So when I reached home, my sister took me to Bor Regional Hospital. The operation was done and the fish hook was removed. That was the first time I realized the pain that our people are going through. But now, audience who are watching today, did we take that pain away because we love our nationality? We love our levity? Did we take that away? Because I feel bad when I see the person who is the leader talking about the differences and don't fix the differences. The country that is having an uprise doesn't go nowhere. The country that people are not respecting their nationality or nationalism, they don't go nowhere. I want to give you the quote of one thing that you need to know. And it's a quote that I always tell anybody I meet. We are born by chance, but to die is completely inevitable. You will not run away from that. The only thing we do, you have to work hard in order to leave your legacy behind. What is the legacy that we are going to leave behind from the time of Anya Anya 1, which is marked 66 years today? From I'm happy to see our citizens. They were so completely taking care of themselves before the uprising of 1983. When I went home before 1986, there is no one day that I slept without a meal. It was not something that we got from money. It was not something that we buy. It's the same land that we have is the one that producing what we have in our cattle. And everything was so delicious. People were living so good. But when 1986 came, the sign that came in 1986, it was really that Corium came, and we have also locusts came and destroy the crops. That was the beginning of starvation, of pandemic. Maybe in another place, but in Bor area happened. People gain the better life in 1987 when they grow their crops again and everything came out. The reason why I'm saying this, my brothers and my sisters and my people, I want you to break your guard down, your heart down from thinking negative about the country. If people who are in this country, somebody can die because he's protecting another life, then why are we always cooking the food that cannot benefit anybody? Everybody has the truth about, I am a leader. It is my right. I'm being violated. You have an opportunity to change the life of South Sudanese, but you are failing the life of South Sudanese. So we young people who have grown up knowing more about the history, I never been to Khartoum because I had bad things that happened to our people in Khartoum. Bad things. It's still happening now in Egypt. It's still happening in other neighboring countries. Because when you don't have nationality, you are the only person that will be mistreated. Did we take any mistreatment? Did we take it away? Did SPLM has done it? Did anybody know that we have a sheep? What we have? We have children wake up in the morning, they can't go to school. We have children wake up in the morning, they're crying of starvation. We have women still give birth in the house. They don't have they don't have the ward where they can give birth. They don't have medical, that can take care of them. And this was the first thing. The leaders who are in today, they know themselves. They were born in the house. Like I know myself, I was born in the house. As I see my brothers and my sisters, they were born in the house. I have seen my umbilical cord, it was buried in the next to their house. What is the changes we need to do to correct what we have? I saw a lot of people talking in the media. I am Equatoria. I am what? I'm what? That kind of mentality cannot help us. Let us take our liberty and let us take our nationalism to protect us from being humiliated other places. I was watching one of the video in Egypt. The one guy was just being chased. and it was called Kalib. Ya Kalib, Ya Kalib, Ya Jamana, February 2006. People can see that picture. I cry myself. I went to State Department. I cry about what I have seen. South Sudanese refugees. After we even have a power to go there and negotiate with other country, we can have a better relationship. But we're still being treated in a way we treat ourselves. No one can be respected if you don't take your nationality very strongly. And I'm proud about our lost boys who are joined the U.S. Army. Many of them they got respected. Whenever you said you joined the military, just saying that word, somebody will tell you something will make you feel better because they show you the sign of nationality. They show you the sign of how much you sacrifice yourself and leave your family. Nationality is very important. Leaders who are always taking over, you said you got a big, huge opportunity. John Garang did his own part, but he died before he completed the mission that brought us up the way we are. But we are saying that when you have a president, you should proud. When you have a country, you should proud. The land we have will remain the same way it is. But people who are in now thinking that they are important, they will still go. They're not going to be there. So I just want to let you know, my brothers and sisters, if you have a negativity in your mind of thinking that you are violated anywhere, I do believe that I apologize, you have a wrong ideology. If you are a leader in South Sudan and you think that you are violated anywhere and you took guns armed to create and take the blood of a South Sudanese away again because of what you think you are, you don't have a sense of nationality. You don't have a sense of humanity. And we have lost more than even when we were fighting with Jalaba. When we were fighting with Jalaba, Jalaba did not go and find you and you hide somewhere. But when people go back, they treat them as a citizen. I want to let you know one thing. Anyanya One has done much more double. Much more double. And I will tell you later on. The bridge that is in Juba, Japan Mary has done a lot of things in the south because he has installed South Sudanese inside. People like John Garang, they were in there. People like Salva Kiir Mayadi, they were in there. People like Garbino, they were in there. They were playing roles. But what was the departure of of the SPLM, SPLA? A dishonoring of disagreement, dishonoring of the peace agreement in 1971, 72. But I want to tell you what I have seen, because many of you who are in the Facebook right here, you never seen anything at all. I was in Juba, and I know how everything was. I see the love and the growing. When Juba Bridge was opened in 1974, it was opened by Abel Alier, and he's the one who came and used his leather blade to open it. Okay, that is 1974. People used to take the Nile when you are living from Bor. You go by water until you get to Juba. There was no crossing road that can go all the way to Nimili and all that stuff. We were still living in our own creation. I will sing a song. I'm a Panan, but I will sing a song that I have. I never put it in the public, but I will sing it in English. Long time ago, African nation live a normal life. live like creation of God. There was love among the families. There was peace among the families. And today, war is the life, making money, money in blood of innocent, killing children, women, and more innocent. African people, people in the world, African leaders, leaders in the world, we will fight with no destination, killing our great nation, killing generation, killing our great leaders. And today, war is alive, making money, money in blood of innocent, killing children, women, and more innocent. Nelson Mandela, African leader, fought for freedom, held him in custody. Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya fought for freedom, held him in custody. Patrick Lumumba died for freedom. Nkwama Karuma died for freedom. Dr. John Garang died for freedom. And today, war is the life, making money, money in blood of innocent, killing children, women, and more innocent. The reason why I composed this song is how I read the world and how I read African leaders. Most important leaders in Africa, they don't live longer. Why? Because they came with the heart to change the life of their own people, but they don't live hard because of money. What is killing people, killing innocent people, and people who believe they are doing the right thing? They are crossing their leg and the bullet are hitting people who don't even know why they are dying for. And it's just because of money. The money, because any leader that is getting his own opportunity to get the money somewhere, he want to keep himself in a leadership and kill people who are not supposed to be, put in death. It's not fair. You are happy and your people are dying. Our young people right now in Kenya, in Uganda, they don't have anything to do. You just want to wake up in the morning, there is nothing to do for your benefit. When I was interviewed the first time when the Lost Boys came to United States, I met with the person who is a project manager from Geneva. His name is called Mike. I told him after we toured all our groups, we went back to UN compound in Kakuma. And I told him my statement, feeling of people. I told him, this generation you have seen right here in the camp, they have gone through a lot. There is no any future that they are looking behind their life. But when the young man is reaching toward 20th, he's not getting married, he's not helping himself, he don't have education, he's not supporting the family, and he's just stuck like the water that are in the container. We're going to have about 50% of them mental sick. And then the guy asked me, what can I do for you? My friend Daniel Bolicon, he is now in Juba. He did not get his name coming back. He said, we are trying to go to Canada, United States, and Australia, but UNHCR tell us that they need families. You don't need single people like us. But he told me, your message is going to be answered. I'm going back. I'm going to write the project for you, and you will be settled in United States. Your message will go to State Department. And he was coming because he saw the book called Wandering Children. That's what moved him to come to Kakuma. It was still me who came and expressed that, and all of a sudden he came back, collect the data from where we come from, and then the process is started. I thought it was a joke, it was a dream. But I said, no, I'm not going. But all of a sudden, in 2005, but I witnessed that this peace has come. That is the time I walked myself to JBA because I was actually connected. And I told the lady in JBA director, I said, now peace has come. I need to go. And mine was granted. I left for United States in April 17th, April 16, and I arrived to United States February 17, 2005. The reason why I'm telling you this, my people, I have a love. We people of South Sudan, we are created with very strong genes. Very strong genes. Look at the skin we have. But what we don't have a sense of nationalism. When you see your friend, you look like it is enemy. But my brothers and sisters, look what I'm giving you today. If I become a leader today, my life is not very important than the child of the orphan of the person who have died 30 years ago fighting for the independence of South Sudan. I have a picture of one of the soldiers. I put it up today. The reason why I'm putting it up, and I want to ask Lake Media if they can find where that person is, if he's still alive, is giving me the picture of how the SPLA soldiers were struggling when they don't have food, but they will still take the gun and go in front line because there was a hope. They always say that if I die, my cousin will get a freedom, my wife will get a freedom, my children will get a freedom. The only power of the country is military. But if the military is neglected, even if you are what, you will never get anything. Blessing is not coming. In my family, I lost brothers. In my family, all of us, except my younger brother, is the one who have never joined the SPLA because he was at home, he was young, the one who followed me.
The
But
video, the video I have here is for the first movement, Anya Anya one, when we were led by Gordon Motat Mayan, and he has interview with the BBC, and he shows some few training in the training side.
Yeah, I have the information about him. I already, I will explain it later when the video is going on. So what I'm trying to express to the people of South Sudan today, can you think? Feel yourself. I'm talking to the leaders who are in today. I'm not against anyone, but if you know yourself, you are doing the right things, you are eating good, you're sleeping good, you're driving a nice car, you're listening to a good music, you are taking shower with the fresh water, and you don't think about the country, you don't think about the people, you don't think about the nationalism. Even if you go anywhere in the world, you can be welcome as a member of the country, but your liberty or your respect will not be accepted. South Sudan right now have a lot of comedians in Africa joking about our name, playing, a lot of bad things about us. But now, seeing uprising is calm down, it should be the time for everyone to think about the future of the country. Because we had a good beginning, but all of a sudden we chipped it out from the good beginning. The way I sleep here every day, I will not sleep without not thinking about anything. My brother, he was a leader. Malit, he died in Europe when the first time they captured Europe. He is from Zalzal. And when all these another thing coming out, a lot of all this revolution going on, he lost his life. He left kids behind. Those are the people that should have been their children, their wife. They were the one that should have been put first on the top of the list to remember them, because they have the list. They have the division. They have where they come from. They know their training. They know when they go there. But their children right now, they don't have future. But I myself, I try my best to do what I can, because my brother is a hero. I know he's a hero. He has 4 kids, but he's a hero. I will never sleep without talking to the kid, because he's a hero. So even though other brothers, they pull out from this, whatever it was my concern, I don't want them to be involved. They did their job. Even if you are not getting paid, go and get yourself anything else to do. Because our main departure was Khartoum. There is nothing wrong in the South. But some other people, when you tell them the truth, they turn around and tell you the truth. But the truth of nationalism, that is what happened in America here, where people fight in a plane because they don't want the house of the president to be blown up. That is the truth. If you don't like Salva Kiir Mayardit, that presidency is not for Salva Kiir Mayardit. It's for you, it's for me, it's for my son, it's for anybody. If you think about the Dinka is not the only one who's going to remain there forever. The improvement of building judiciary so that nobody will be above the law, it will come. It is just a matter of time. Rome was not built in one day. But Junub Sudan will still have all these atrocities. But there is a one day when we get a good leader. No one will talk about tribe anymore. If you see what happened in Rwanda, they become brothers, they become family, they become country, they become one, they become united. Now Paul Kagame is doing a good job because his people accepted what is called unity. What do you think, people of South Sudan? If you are given a power today, you need to make sure that your child is going to Nairobi, your house is going to be in Nairobi. Why can't you build your house at home? Your children are going to a basic school because you are a leader. That country will never go nowhere. When I had my welfare party in 2005, on the February 15, 2005, people came. But my last word that I said was actually become true today. I said Juba is going to be a place of work, but Nairobi is going to be a place of drinking beer and put the children in school. Because I was so skeptical that this is not going to happen. But my last hope, when I met Dr. John Garang in May in Washington, D.C., I managed to reach and talk to him. But when he fell down the plane, that was the last time that I just said, forget, nothing is going to happen. But leader can become a leader when people are strong. This person called Salva Kiir Mayardit, her names has become anywhere. But I want to let you know one thing. Salva Kiir Mayardit did not take gun and take that seat with a gun or kill somebody. It was just, it fall onto him because of seniority. All the leaders who are now outside, they should have sit down and fix this in order for them to get a chance. But they did not fix it. Where do you think the country can be peaceful when you are uprising? Ask yourself, if you are a rising leader, where do you think you can get the opportunity to be a leader if you are uprising on your own people? I accept I can uprise against Khartoum. But if I get the AK-47 today, as the way I did in the back, I will never kill the person of my blood. Never. Because this bullet, I'm not going to turn it back to my own people. But if you kill me without anything I've done, it's okay because that death is always there. But I just want to let you know, education is the only way to change the society. But we did not implement what our children in future is going to be. Now we are wasting money in Kenya, in Uganda, and some other place in the world, educating our people. Do we have a power to build schools? Do we have a power? You know, we Red Army, we have a vision. You know why I'm saying this? The vision is remaining in us. But we need you leaders in the power to bring us in so we can fix you. Because when we were in Penyudu, we were trained for the today time. We built our own dormitories, we built our own schools, and we built our own sport system. And we live without our parents. Piang Deng Majuk, I'm proud of him. He did a lot of work for us. We will go to school in the morning by Masira, sit in the class without benches. We started under the tree. Why government of South Sudan cannot have the same vision that he gave us to start everywhere? Let me tell you, in 1985, even though the SPLM was already on the route to come, I came to Bo Town. I have Malek Secondary School was open full time. They have meal twice a day. They have Panjak was open. They have meal twice a day. They have a lot of primary school. They were built in Bor. And I do believe in Juba was the same thing. School was running. But Japan and Mary used to pay everyone every day when it is on the 30th. Anybody who's working with the government get his pay on time. You are getting wage on what you have done for the country. Teachers get their pay. I went to a school, Panjak or Malek at that time, and I found the big hall. Everybody was eating. And I went there, I was very young. I was welcome. The student welcomed me, and I was given a plate very delicious. I've never seen that anymore. So we have a country that is benefit by itself. But we cannot, we don't know. We forgot what we do. We forgot our nationalism. We forgot our levity that we got. Legina haga ya jamana. Junub da fiyedna. Who is going to be blamed? If you leaders sit down with Salva Kiir Mayadi today and say, Ben Salva, we are going the wrong way, instead of moving out in the country and say, I don't like him, and you go in and sit down with him and say, this is the way we need to do the judiciary, this is the way we need to do this, do you think the problem in Geneva, Sudan will not be fixed? You think the bottle of gun will fix it? If you come out today after you kill Salva Kiir Mayardit, you kill all the soldiers that are standing on the constitution of South Sudan, do you think you will bring something different? John Garang already mentioned it. If we fight and we don't bring the difference from what the Khartoum was giving our people, then the people will drive us in the sea. Even if there is no sea, they will drive us in there. Why are we not thinking about the future? By this time right now, 10 years, we should be having well-educated doctors, surgeon, doctors, big, good hospital, good roads. Water system could have been built. We could have been having a better housing system. We could have been make sure that our cattle, our cows, our food would have been completely produced. Now insecurity is becoming a problem. Before there is even no insecurity, why you don't give insecurity to the Jalaba who was in there before? Why you don't stop them on the road and kill them so they can leave Junuba Sudan? You're gonna kill Junubin so that they can leave. Where do you think they're gonna go? If you are in the bush with your gun there and you're waiting people in on the road in order to rob them and kill them because of their tribe, my friend, there is nothing you can do. But we need to fix the problem through our nationalism, through our inside our liberty. Because we're not gonna have somebody who's gonna tell you have it again. I wanna let you say that long live South Sudan. I'm proud we have the country, but I don't proud that we have the people who can fix the country.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Landit. That's a wonderful speech that you give. It's a wonderful insight, and you give your personal perspective of the issues that our country is facing, and also to you touch about 9/11, which is today is 20th anniversary of 9/11. You know, all of us who are in America, we recall that day, that horror happened in America. It's a time that changed everything in America. So when 9/11 happened, I was 3 months in America. So I came in America in 2001, in March 2001. I was the second group of the lost boy who arrived in America. So at the time that 9/11 happened, I was in school. I was in high school. So I was 16 by then. So when I was in the classroom, you know, we were watching live on the TV. And then I thought that we were watching a movie. So I asked one of my classmates, I said, are we watching a movie or what is this? So, because when I was in Kakuma, I used to watch a lot of action movies. So we see those plane flying and they hit the building. So I thought that, oh, that's a movie. But some of my classmates, they told me that this is not a movie. This is a reality. It's happening in real life. It's happening right now in New York. So it was, and when I watch, I see a lot of people are jumping out from the window, and you see that tall building. Some people, you can see people are hanging in the window, waving the white clothes or towel, and then when the next thing you know, they will fall, and that's it. It was a sad moment in American history. So the reason why I recall this, Brother Landit, is because you talk about nationalism. So when that happened in 2001, the person who was the president at that time is former President George W. Bush, and he's a Republican. And you know how America is divided based on our political background, like Republican and Democrat. So you know how America is divided also into the races, black and white, and Latino, all kinds of stuff. But when that happened in 2001, September 11 attack, America came together, regardless if you are black, white, Latino, Asia, gay, straight, Republican, Democrat, they came together in America. And they talk one voice, you see. And you see today, you see in the television today. So those more than 3,000 people who lost their life at that day, their name were called out in the television. So their families came and they honored their loved one. That's a nationalism. And if we can take that to our life as a South Sudanese, we can take that. We South Sudanese diaspora, we should learn that nationalism from those Western countries that we are living in, but we see that our people didn't learn it. We are not educated from those, so we still have our tribalism mindset. We don't have that in our heart, in our bodies. So this is the one of the things that we need to talk about as a South Sudanese. If we talk about our country, our future, we should put our country first, regardless your political background, regardless your tribal background, but put your country first. And that is the nationalism that we are talking about. Second, second is about, we remembering today of the beginning of Anya Anya 1955, which is actually is not happening today, it's happened last month, August 18, 1955. That's when the first uprising of Anya Anya 1 start in Torit. And you see, and our people, you see, we have a video here to show. And our people were fighting with their danga, we call it danga or arrow. And this is one of the things, you know. And that's what put Nyanya 2 came in. So all of this we can learn through our history. When our people started, because they fought, our fathers, they died, our uncle died, our brother, they died in the war, you see. And the reason why they died for what? They died for our freedom, us, that we talk today, and our children, and our grandchildren, you see. And that is the reason, and that is what our people is supposed to talk about it. But that's not the case. People, we got our own country, and then everybody now is talk about, I want a power, I want a position, I want to be a ministry, I want to be a president, you know. And that's not it. We have every way we can contribute in our country to bring changes. So, Brother Isaac, if you can watch that, you can come up and bring this video up. We can play. And Comrade Ashwil, Comrade Ashwil Malid is read something very important. Lander. He said the Red Army was eventually to be the seat of the nation. SPLM was right, has achieved this, but the Red Army is refusing to generally expected to take, for example, the provision of the chapter 4 and chapter 6 of the. So, and then we will talk about this in the show next week. So Comrade Ashwin Malone will be in our show next week, and he will be talking about the peace agreement that there will be issues. So Isaac, bring on that, and then we play.
In the heart of Africa, a ramshackle army learns the techniques of guerrilla warfare. But these men are not fighting against European domination. Their enemies are 10 million Arabs, their fellow citizens in the Sudan. For the past 10 years, the Sudan's been torn by a civil war so little reported that its bitterness and brutality have gone largely unnoticed by the rest of the world. The conflict springs from the divisions of race, language, and religion among Sudan's 16 million population. In the north, around the capital, Khartoum, live the Arabs, who dominate every sphere of public life. In the south are over 5 million impoverished Negroes, mostly either pagan or Christian. For centuries, the Arab majority regarded the Negro minority as little more than slaves. Eventually, a handful of southern politicians, convinced the Negroes would have to fight for their rights, organized a guerrilla force from which today's rebel movement developed. Three years ago, the guerrillas set up their own political organization independent of Khartoum. Assembled here in front of a hut which serves as a parliament are ministers of the present rebel government of the south. They call themselves the Nile Provisional Government, or NPG for short. They were chosen from members of parliament who were elected by the people of the southern states in their own general elections in 1967. The NPG claims to represent all the main tribal groups in the south. This camp at Bongo in the Sudanese interior is the capital of the so-called Nile State. It's only 20 miles away from a military camp housing central government troops. That the rebel capital can exist so close to such a camp illustrates why the civil war has dragged on for so many years. Khartoum's forces control the towns and a few other strongholds, but the rebels are masters of the jungle. The guerrillas have replaced the old emblem of South Sudan with their own flag. On this occasion, in front of NPG President Gordon Mayen, it's being raised for the first time. Mayen is a Dinka tribesman. He used to be a minister in Khartoum, but became disenchanted with the way successive governments treated the South. At first he wanted autonomy. Now he's demanding full independence. This ceremony may appear naive, but for these men, it symbolizes a newfound dignity as citizens of an independent state.
I greet the ministers of the NPG. The raising of the new flag just bring about two changes: the change of the colors and the change.
The president's speech illustrates another element in the Sudanese drama. There are more than 100 tribes in Sudan and as many dialects. To understand each other, they must either speak English, like the president, or Arab, like the commander-in-chief, who also acts as translator.
The convention sitting in Belgo Bindi in March 1959 ruled that the former South Sudan is known as the Nile State, a state which is still being occupied by our enemy, the Arabs.
In evolving new institutions and new patterns of behavior in their own state, the southern tribesmen have modelled themselves on the British, once their colonial rulers. Britain administered the southern provinces as a separate colonial territory from the rest of Sudan, and British influence is still much in evidence. The ponderous ceremonial of the military review has an unmistakably British flavour, and is carried out even to the extent of deliberately neglecting a guardsman who's fainted on parade. Christianity, too, is a legacy from the colonial era. European missionaries were among the first people to bring any kind of modern education to the tribesmen of the South. There are people on both sides who present the conflict as a basically religious war and who think in terms of holy crusades. But President Mayen has refused to commit his provisional government to this point of view. Within the rebel movement as a whole, however, there are other important differences of approach. We asked Mr. Mayen what the main ones were.
Basic differences are that the NPG has the nationalist approach, whereas the others have the tribalistic approach. The NPG believes in integration of liberation forces and political structure as the only effective way of achieving liberation quickly.
Mr. Barry Wangi holds the post of Foreign Secretary in the Provisional Government. He sees the NPG as a revolutionary party and believes that Khartoum's claim to be a socialist government is no more than an empty cliché.
Politically and ideologically, the NPG is a revolutionary leadership. We are revolutionaries in the sense that we don't believe in halfway solutions, but we are out to replace the political, economic, and cultural colonial system imposed by Arabs on our people. As such, we are revolutionaries and using revolutionary methods. There is an obvious danger in many governments using socialism as a slogan to exploit and suppress their own people. Also, some governments, like that of Khartoum, they are trying to use it as a cliche to suppress the Nile people. Arab nationalism as practiced in Sudan can only mean the suppression of the African one. It is a conspiracy to silence our revolution.
Despite such nationalistic utterances, the guerrillas' military power is in fact very limited. The rebels have few modern weapons, and training is carried out with wooden sticks, reminiscent of the early days of Biafra's army in the Nigerian Civil War. What the NPG has got is a considerable supply of men. It claims to have the support of more than 1 million of Sudan's black population. These two horsemen are scouts from the Dinka tribe, which volunteered its own fighting force to help the NPG struggle against the central government. The remainder of the force, some 1,000 men, arrived at Bongo in small groups. In 4 weeks, they'd covered 1,000 miles on foot. The Dinkas are famous on 3 counts. Their height, 6.5 feet on average, their warlike accomplishments not even the British managed to pacify them, and the fact that their culture doesn't admit the notion of a chief. Relations and friends who'd not seen each other for months were reunited, but after the initial joy they swapped sadder stories of skirmishes with government troops in which villages had been destroyed and crops and livestock lost. The journey of the Dinka force had taken its toll on the tribesmen, many of whom were on the point of exhaustion when they arrived at NPG headquarters. A quick count was made of all those still with strength enough to fight. But the Dinka's biggest problem was food. Their normal diet is milk, meat, and millet. But at this camp there was nothing but yucca, a root which they don't know and which provides little nourishment anywhere. Malnutrition is one of the greatest problems facing the rebels. They claim that Arab troops deliberately slaughter livestock and burn crops as part of a policy of genocide. Certainly between 1963 and 1967, successive governments in Khartoum seemed bent on suppressing all resistance in the south by the most brutal use of military force, and stories of atrocities mostly date from this time. No one knows how many have died in the war. The rebels claim it's over 300,000. Khartoum admits to 20,000. And at least 200,000 refugees have fled across the border to neighboring Uganda and the Congo. In this camp, TB and tropical ulcer are widespread. The ulcer cuts into the leg, exposing the bone. Frequently, gangrene sets in. Skilled medical help is almost non-existent among the guerrillas. There are no drugs, medicines, or even bandages at Bongo, and undressed wounds remain wide open to countless other infections from the atmosphere. This man is a nurse, the only one among the rebels who has even a rudimentary knowledge of medicine, but he's incapable of displacing the bullet lodged in a wounded man's shoulder. Although the Sudanese conflict has been generally free from outside influences, the NPG has recently hired the services of a French mercenary who plans to build an airstrip to fly in all kinds of supplies. He's also in charge of a training program for special squads of commandos. The past 18 months has seen a slackening in the intensity of the war, and there have been fewer skirmishes between guerrillas and government troops. This is almost certainly due to a new attitude in Khartoum, where General Nemeri's government seems to have accepted that a political rather than a military solution will have to be found. General Nameri has appointed a Minister of Southern Affairs, announced.
This is the genesis of the movement. This is where the movement started, the Nyanya one that gave birth to SPLA that brought the CPA, that we have a referendum, right to self-determination, which they have been yelling on for a very long time. We have seen the story that you have narrated before. Exactly, this is what has been going on through the life of the southern Sudanese people, those who have been in the struggle. No medicines, no health facilities, and food, long walk journeys. Yeah. So you pick it up from there, and it's really it's good to reflect back anyway. That's why I like that video. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you, Isaac. We have left 10 minutes. We have left 10 minutes. So Landy, we will give that 10 minutes to you so you can wrap it up, and then we have another talker. So we don't.
Okay.
Coming up later.
Thank you very much. What we need to do, we have to like take a second because what we have seen um, for these people who have sacrificed themselves without gun, we have to take a movement to give them a sense of honor. For Anyanya one, before I go ahead and start telling the story, because when I came today putting my message on, I already gathered some information about the names of the people who have been struggling, what they have done, who was the background assisting them logistically, and how they achieved, how the SPLM came in. So we have to take like a movement. I think we have the same song that we have earlier, just put it like a little bit of it, so we can have a movement to give them a sense of respect and honor their sacrifice. Yes, that is our condolence to them. Ladies and gentlemen, people of South Sudan, those who are watching, I hope you will take a great message today of our people, of our land, the suffering of our people. I came in today because I'm comparing what is called nationalism. What you have seen today in a Nyanya one, that is what is called nationalism, not what we have today. Compared to the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania, because they don't want the national liberty or national nationality of their country to be crushed. They die, they are not there, but the history remain. Now I repeat again, you are born by chance, I am born by chance, but to die is inevitable. No matter whatever you say, you will still die. Whether you sleep on the top of other people, you will still die. But what the person can do is to let the legacy remain behind. We did not write the history of Anya Anya. We did not feel them like they are human beings who have really sacrificed for South Sudan. We did not feel their suffering. We did not feel their struggle. The same thing we went in SPLA, SPLM. I will read a little bit of what I know because I do completely have the gathering or the collection of Geneva, Sudan every day, whether I find it anywhere. But I always write the most important thing down. Anyanya one, when they uprise in Torit, you see how the leaders start changing. Uh, the people who joined the SPLM, they found this one. They were people from Moro, Nuer, Lotuko, Bari, Dinka, Acholi, Zandi, and all other tribes that are not mentioned. And they came from different places across to have their own place called Bongo that you had. So the name Bongo that we taken to name in Ethiopia, it came from Anyanya one. So the region of South Sudan waged war against the government. And the first South Sudanese, that was the first South Sudanese civil war. Anyanya one movement became a relatively stronger and under the leadership of, there is a person before we go to the other leader, his name is called Agri Jordan. He was the first leader of Anyanya one. And I believe he's from Equatoria. And then Jordan Motet Mayen became the chairman. And the speaker, who is called the I don't know, the chief of staff, was Joseph Lago. And then Agri Jordan left the Anyanya movement due to the frustration and lack of cohesiveness and breaking within the movement. Shortly after the Jordan, after 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 Jo- after Agri, Jordan Moted Mayen become the leader of Anyanya one. The name of the South Sudanese, and then the name changed to South Sudanese Provisional Government, and then again changed to Nile Provisional Government. Under the leadership of Moted Mayen, the movement was able to carry on the mission against the North. Moted, a chief of staff, was Joseph Lago, and Joseph Lago was able to seek an assistance from Israel, and the movement got some military supplies. When Joseph Lago got the power from Israel, he opened a form of coup against Motet. But the coup was successfully uniting the army and the Lago. So the transition power was done very peacefully. Lago assumed the leadership of the movement and both political and military, because it was the same like the SPLA, SPLM. They had military and they still have the movement, and Nyanyawan was still having that. In 1972, Joseph Lago signed the peace agreement with the North, ending the 17 Years' War. The peace agreement was initially rejected by the leaders members of the military. And the leaders members of the military was Emmanuel. It was called Emmanuel, and Dr. John Garang was also in there. However, later, they had a letter that was circulating until the Anyanya force got the message and then they branched away in 1975. They formed Anya Anya, which is called Anya Anya 2. And they have two regions. They were in Equatoria, and some they were the eastern Upper Nile. So Anya Anya continue to exist in the name of Anya Anya 2. So when Addis Ababa agreement fall apart in 1983, at the beginning of the Second Civil War, the SPLA-SPLM was founded. So there was a competition, and Anya Anya 2 did not exist. But I would just want to let you know, through the picture and the little clip of the video you have seen from Anya Anya 1, it was a change in South Sudan. It has installed some leaders in the government of Nimeri because of the struggle. It has opened up South Sudan to have some Maram road that were built, they were not built before. It has happened that the University of Juba was built. It happened also in Rumbek, in all the other places in Wow, and the roads, and also the railway. It was the struggle of those people you have seen there that opened up to make South Sudan to have understanding about nationality. So as our time is taking us up, I was showing you the feeling that I have for our people in South Sudan. If you look back in what you see now, you look at the South Sudan, who opened up the road? It's Anyanya 1. That is why I said Anyanya 1 is forgotten. It is completely forgotten. The day of their departure would have been one of the most days that can be celebrated in the history of South Sudan. Joseph Lago is still there. Some other leaders are not there, but Joseph Lago is still there. I never heard him that he passed away, but I believe he's still there. Abel Alier is still there. They witness the struggle of the people of South Sudan. They enjoy the liberty that Anyanya 1 has brought. And that is where SPLA get a chance to fight. If there was no Anyanya 1, there would have been no SPLM. There will be no SPLA. There will be no even people like us to remember the history. All the members and citizens of South Sudan who are living in the diaspora, in Canada, in Australia, in East Africa, in Juba, in the whole entire South Sudan, I'm giving you this message today. It's a message of sorrow. It's a message that is making me and making other person feel emotion. We are a strong people. There is no anyone among our neighboring countries that can go through like what you see in Anyanya 1. They didn't even have gun, they didn't even have shoes, they didn't even have clothes. Leave about other things. But because of nationalism, they give their life away. Who remember them? No one. Who remember Korean? No one. Who remember Zazan? No one. Who remember more? No one. Who remember Intifada? No one. Who remember Korean too? No one. I'm passing this one is going direct to the leaders who are in today, who have the seat in South Sudan. You need to sit down and mourn for the martyrs. You need to sit down and remember what happened. President Salva Kiir Mayardit went through this. He cannot even reject that he didn't go through this. Pictures are there as a witness of it. Other people who are running around other countries, I'm giving you this message. If you were taking gun against the Arab and not Junubin, please restrain from being against your own blood. Let us look for a common ground to bring unity to our people, to bring services to our people, to bring life to our people. If I ask you a question now, you people who are living in the country today driving SUVs, do you know where your umbilical cord were buried? Do you know what your mother went through when he has a labor without any medical attention? Today, my message is going to the government of South Sudan. You need to think about how you can bring something, a light that will make South Sudanese to have hope that they have a government. There should be no anything else to be done without remembering the martyrs. I'm feeling it because I have members of my family. If it was not General Biar Jajao getting me out at Kafoita, I would have go all the way up to Pachala. But General Biar looked at me. I was like so tiny young man, and he called me. He knew my brother was killed the same year, and I didn't know because he didn't want me to hear anything while I'm on my way. But he just sent me away and said, "Your brother Wal is there. Your brother Makol is there. Your brother Malit is there. Your brother Akon is there. Your brother Panchol is there. All of them, they are in front line. You are the youngest in the family. What are you doing here?" And that was the reason I accepted what he told me. But when I came to Kakuma, I heard the news. Who is remembering my brother? He was taken cadet to go to Itang in 1990 and passed by in Panyudu, found me, and I follow him to Itang. But when I went there and stayed there, my mind of nationality, I went and left my brother's house and I went to Koto and joined the military right there. But they went there and removed me again and sent me back to Panyudu. Because I always didn't like to sit down. I want to witness what can free next generation bind us. May God bless all of you. May God bless South Sudanese. May God bless anybody. But that is an emotional message to all of you today. I'm not against anybody, but let us think about the future of next generation. We don't sleep when we are in the US. And may God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you all the Lake State media. Continue doing a good job. But I want to let everybody know that Lake State media need to be supported. Whenever you come here, you make sure that the media is running well because there is a lot of stuff, maintenance need to be done every month. But what they are doing to pass the message to the people of South Sudanese is very important. So I'm feeling so happy for Lake State media and also all the Red Army, my young generation. Terab, Sudan da, Sudan Jadid Sudan da, Terab Sudan da, Sudan Jadid Sudan da, Eba Sudan Belena, Akalanyin Kobuwala. You Terab, I want you to listen to me. We need to unite it. We have already everybody who is educated. It's our chance now to launch in ourselves to bring services to our people through our own benefit of being outside. There is no anyone who have seen all these countries except us. But that was a blessing. We were sent away as a seed, but since we are a seed, we need to germinate. We don't need to just sleep every day and don't think about. If I tell you today we want to raise money to make sure we build our own office in Juba, I don't think that everybody will respond, but we will have something to come up like that. May God bless all of you, all the viewers. And I love all of you.
Thank you so much, Brother Landy, for coming to Lake State Media. For those of you who are calling for link, we'll not send out the link because the show was designed for 1 hour. We have another programs coming up for the next hour. So we overtime for 30 minutes. So So apologize for that. So yes, I see that some of the audience want to join the show. If we didn't have another program coming up, I could allow people to coming in and put their word in. But yeah, we have another program coming up. We are even late for 30 minutes. So thank you so much for coming in, Brother Landy. And this is a wonderful speech you put it in. We remember those our heroes who died during Anya Anya 1 to Anya Anya 2. And also, too, we remembering the 9/11 victims that who died during 9/11. We send our condolences message to Americans, family that who are mourning today, 20 years later. So I can imagine those families that still sorrow, those and still our family back home in South Sudan who lost their loved one in Anya Anya 1 to Anya Anya 2. We send our condolences message to them, and we keep going. South Sudan one day will be a great nation that we're looking for. I thank you, and thank you all our viewers, and tuning in anytime we will bring a different story, different topic we discuss here. We always, Lake State Media is for South Sudanese. So we welcome everybody in Lake State Media. So we can discuss our nation issues, we discuss our sexual issues, and we could discuss church issues, anything that we see the topic that associate to our society. We can bring Lake State Media, we can discuss because communication, and we talk together. This can bring a peace and unity that we're looking for our people to come in. So brother, thank you. Have a wonderful night, and have a wonderful morning everywhere you guys in. Have a blessing night. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, all of you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
It's your boy, Young.
Master ke unawe Selector Bill Pamake Weye wega batit Yeruli janang bantungaya Ninja jenge kunye jangu tenge Ajin banda tungaya na jin banda Ajin banda bebe Yerulawan Yerula ebane koi murian Murian yuit kudang Damto panalia Wadua dini kadang Kubai pandang pani jen menyen Alani lera to Weye wega batit Yeruli janang bantungaya Ninja jenge kunye jangu tenge Ajin banda tungaya na jin banda Ajin banda bebe Yerulawan Yerula ebane koi murian Murian yuit kudang Damto panalia Wadua dini kadang Kubai pandang pani jen menyen Alani lera togo Yang undang alejoannya layatong Baintal bagiran tumbay Tony dalwada mana pun Amen yen baino Dong ya benya darani jir Danjol madang manga Beda banyi vida berai cuek Bangun toite
It's your boy, Young. I give him that thing. Punch all legs stand and punch it America. Banyi doang leban punch all legs stand and punch it America. Banyi doang leban wo kojile kankaro watana watchin. Oga leg juir kwa ugara leg. Panda wadiaye punch it America. Banyi doang leban chingitongo pandon kujuera baya cheka. Paku panda juir wadiabi Pancho legs stand and punch it America. Banyi doang leban